Hey guys, happy Thursday. So, I kind of feel like I'm one of the few people still doing anti-hauls. I feel like the craze of the anti-haul has died down just a little bit. However, I still really love this type of video, and I'm still watching a lot of people's like older anti-hauls because I think that when Kimberly Clark originally came up with this, it was such a fantastic idea, which is definitely where I got the idea from. So I don't want to take credit for it, but yeah, I just think it's a really great way to kind of keep yourself in check and talk yourself out of things that you probably don't necessarily need. Now, I buy a lot of things that I probably actually don't necessarily need because I have this YouTube channel and I love reviewing things. I love trying new things. At this point, I love just having variety of products, whether it's with skincare, hair care, body care, or makeup. I'm just kind of hooked on always having a good variety to choose from. But I do need to be realistic about the fact that it's probably not best for me to buy everything that strikes my fancy. So this particular anti-haul is focused on some new items that recently arrived at Sephora that I was actually kind of interested in, but I managed to talk myself out of for one reason or another. So I'm just gonna sort of walk through what is my loves list, but is technically my anti-haul. So see, these are things that when I was looking them, I tagged them as being a potential thing that I want to buy, but the more that I looked at them, I figured, probably don't actually need it. Even if you could make a video out of it, not necessary. So here we go. So first thing that I have is the Marc Jacobs Beauty Finish Line Perfecting Coconut Setting Powder. So this retails for $44. It is available in one shade, which is Invisible Translucent. And this is supposed to be a creamy, loose setting powder with 5 forms of coconut and cocoa butter to set makeup with a soft matte finish for up to 8 hours. I love using setting powders like this before I even put on my powder foundation. It's something that I've been doing for a while now, and some of my favorites, the apricot setting powder from Laura Geller, love that. Right now I'm trying to use up my By Terry Hyaluronic Hydra powder. And then there's a couple of others that I enjoy as well. But I really kind of was drawn to this Marc Jacobs one because I heard it has a coconutty scent to it. And initially that's why I was like, oh my God, put it in your cart. You love all the things coconut, but this isn't necessary. One, it's probably a little bit too hydrating for my needs. You know, even though the cocoa butter and coconut oil are like in a powder type format, it's probably still gonna be heavier than what my skin needs, especially during the summer months. So this just is not a necessity for me right now. Also, I feel like 8 grams of product is kind of a small amount of product to get for something that is this expensive and in a loose format, if that makes sense. So for me, I'm gonna pass on this one for the time being. One that almost made it into this anti-haul is the new Mineral Veil Translucent Setting Powder. That one made it back into my cart. So you can see that I have 2 things up in the upper right-hand corner there. 2 things in my cart. That's one of the things that's in my cart right now. So, but I probably wouldn't even think about getting it in the first place until the VIB sale comes around in November anyway, because I have enough setting powder to get me through to November. So let's go on to a skincare item next. And this is the $48 Kate Somerville Cold Cream Moisturizing Cleanser and Makeup Remover. So I was initially intrigued by this because I don't know if any of you girls remember the Pond's cold cream from the 80s and 90s. I actually remember using that, And when I saw that Kate Somerville had a cold cream, I was like, oh my God, take me back to my Pond's days, right? Like, I don't even know if you can still get the Pond's. You might be able to. But I was kind of intrigued by this. And then I thought, you know what? I don't like using these pre-makeup remover cleanser type products. I will oftentimes, right now, I actually went and bought another makeup eraser. So that's what I'm using right now. Or, you know, I'm trying to use up these makeup remover wipes from Ole Henriksen. I won't be repurchasing those because those aren't biodegradable, and I'm trying to get better about my waste production when it comes to beauty stuff. But yeah, I'm decided to pass on this, even though it's kind of a nostalgic type of thing. Just because I know that I probably won't want to reach for it. And quite honestly, a cold cream really probably is best for those of you that have a drier skin type versus me with my oily skin. But for a second there, I was like, I could totally get this. But then I also realized it was let's see, it says 3 ounces here on the Sephora website, but on the container it says 3.5 ounces. 3.5 ounces for $48 is kind of expensive, so that was another thing that made me go, no. Now, this is the Omaro Risa Heroes. Wow, can I say that 10 times fast? No, I can't. Heroes line. So this is just 3 of their kind of cult favorites that that they bundled together for $130. It does have the Queen of Hungary mist, and then it has a cleanser, and then their deep cleansing mask. This is something that I may end up getting in November because I do want to try more from Omaro Risa. I do have the mist, and I actually really enjoy that. So it'd be nice to have another one of those. But I think the sizes of this are pretty small, honestly. And $130 just is, that's a little much for 3 products that are not really all that big. And honestly, I already have a backup of this and I'm still using my original one. So don't necessarily even need that thing. So I'd be buying it for these 2 things. And once again, I'd probably rather spend my money on painting my house right now than that. Okay. I'm going to get back to this. This is from the new Kat Von D brow line. I have a couple things in here from that, but I'm going to talk about this Smashbox and Vlada Petal Metal Highlighter. So the only reason that I had this as like a, oh, it's so pretty is the, oh, it's so pretty factor. I would never use this as a blush topper. I would never use it as a highlighter. I wouldn't use the Gilded Rose. I wouldn't use the Rose Matic, and I wouldn't use the Prismatic Pearl. I just don't use highlighters the way that most YouTubers use highlighters. They are not life to me. I don't use them every day. And when I do, I have very specific brands that I like in terms of highlighters. So, you know, Hourglass is one because it's a lot more natural looking. The ambient lighting powders, love those. But man, did this almost sucker me in with this like beautiful rose embossing in the powder. Yeah, well, I saved myself $39 because I would never actually use it. Okay, here is something that I actually almost bought when I was at Ulta the last time, but they're also available at Sephora, so I tossed them in here. These are the new Bare Minerals Gen Nude Eyeshadow Palettes. First off, they're pretty good size. They're pretty large pans. They're only $29. You're getting 6 shades. I think the different palettes that they have are very, very pretty. I loved the Rose palette. The reason that I didn't buy it is because I have other Bare Minerals eyeshadow palettes that have these shades in them, and the texture of the shadows didn't feel that much different from my other Bare Minerals eyeshadow palettes, so I couldn't justify this. although it's still really tempting because I do like this combination of colors, and it would be so easy for travel to just grab this instead of a larger Bare Minerals eyeshadow palette. So I don't know. I'm not saying that you guys should poo-poo these palettes because quite honestly, they're actually really nice. But for me right now, I'm trying to limit my eyeshadow palette purchases, and this one just didn't make the cut for the time being. I may end up getting the rose one in the future. We'll see. Another eyeshadow palette that did not make the cut, and this was actually a really easy pass for me, is the Kat Von D 10th Anniversary Eyeshadow Palette. It's $52. It's super fun, and I do love me some Kat Von D eyeshadows, but these colors are not Melanie everyday colors, and I do not need to add a eyeshadow palette to my collection that has teals and blues and rusty reds and burgundies and lilacs and grays and yellows. There's like 2 yellows or orangey yellows in here. I'm never gonna wear those on any kind of regular basis, and I don't need an eyeshadow palette like that in my collection. Very pretty, however, an easy pass. It is getting good reviews, so if you are a sucker for Kat Von D, this is available, and it is pretty. It's just not something that I would wear every day. And then also really quickly, I wanted to mention these. These are the new Fenty Beauty by Rihanna Summer Days and Summer Nights Iridescent Lip Luminizer Trios. Okay, this is just a general trend thing that I am not into. I do not like these pearlescent or metallic finish glosses or lipsticks that are coming out. That just reminds me of the 80s in like a bad way. I just remember my grandma having lipsticks that had that like metallized or, you know, pearlescent finish to them, and I didn't think they looked good back then, and I don't think they look good now. For some reason, that is like my one makeup aversion. Like lip products that are metallic or pearlescent looking, I just cannot get behind it. So when I saw this, I was like, no, I just don't like the way that looks. I'm sorry if you like the way that it looks. To each their own. Makeup is totally like, you know, your own thing. All right, let's talk about this Kat Von D stuff, because this just made me kind of angry, and I've talked about this already, but I'm really disappointed in Kat Von D with her release of these new brow products. So she came out with these Brow Struck Dimension powders. She has a precision pencil here, and then there's also the long wear pomade. If you look at any of these, there is not a gray to be found. And this one really kind of made me mad in this long wear pomade situation, because she has white and yellow and red and electric blue. She even has like aubergine, but there is not a gray to be found. And I don't know why she would just not have an option for people with gray hair. I am not the only gray-haired person in the world. Now, luckily, I have found something from It Cosmetics. Their Skinny Brow Pencil in Universal Gray is fantastic. I'm just going to buy that going forward. But I really wanted to support Kat Von D with these new brow products, but I can't because there's not a color for me. Graphite is black. That's not going to work for me. Blonde is, I'm not blonde. Taupe always tends to oxidize on me, and I really do prefer more gray brows. Obviously there's a light brown, a medium brown, there's a dark brown, and then there's a walnut, but not one gray option. I'm just really disappointed in this one. Even the powder, I think there's what, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 7, but not one of them is gray, which is really too bad because I would have totally bought the powder and the pencil had there been a color option for me. And I'm disappointed because not only are there a lot of people who are purposely dyeing their hair gray still, but there's also a lot of us who are just naturally choosing to go gray. There are a lot of people who are making that choice, and we have to have brow products. Your brows do have to match your hair. I mean, they don't have to. You can do whatever you want, let's be honest. Like, I mean, if you have blonde brows still and you don't want it to match them to your hair, then don't do that. But for me personally, I like having that kind of monochromatic, like I have gray on my head, I have gray on my brows kind of look. And I feel like that looks the most put together for me personally. And there just are not a lot of companies, makeup companies, who are making brow products for women who are choosing to age gracefully with their gray hair. So that's a little disappointing to me, and so I won't be buying any of those brow products. So those were an easy pass for me. But yeah, I'm gonna link all this stuff down below for you guys if you wanna read up a little bit more about it. Just because I don't wanna buy this stuff obviously doesn't mean that you shouldn't want to or shouldn't buy this stuff, period. Like, it's, you know, everybody has their own reasons for purchasing different items or not purchasing different items. But I'm kind of curious what you guys are sort of anti-hauling in your heads right now. Like, what came out recently that you have managed to talk yourself out of, despite maybe all the YouTube hype and, you know, like all the videos that you've seen. So anyway, thank you guys so much for taking the time to watch. I really appreciate it. I will see you, oh my gosh, tomorrow for Friday Favorites and Flops. So have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.